Rob, you are the domestic player of the year. We didn't talk about this because the wheelchair awards were a few weeks ago now. We were both there and we never spoke about it. But you won the domestic player of the year. Stupid question as ever. Has it sunk in yet that you received this high accolade?
Yeah, actually it has, to be honest. I'm happy to see how that all my efforts and all my improvement has been noticed throughout like last year. And it's just a nice another achievement to add to the trophy cabinet alongside grand final winner and the World Cup as well. So I mean it's amazing to show how last year was, but it's just about like trying to grow it again for this year and continue, if not raise the bar even further for myself.
Obviously, you ended last year with two very close wins in the grand final and the World Cup final. You start 2023, unfortunately, with a close defeat against Wigan, but it sounded like it was a very exciting game to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very back and forth game during that first half, and we were just trying to knock a bit of the rust off. I think we just made too many errors, which just gave Wigan a lot more chances, and they just played better overall. They were the better team on the day, but I mean, it's early start season, so we have plenty of time to bounce back and knock that rust off, especially with us facing Warrington on the second of April, sorry, and that's at least like 2 weeks away. So we've got like a couple of weeks to relax, well, not relax, but look back on our mistakes, see what we can change, really. So it's still plenty of time for the season, yeah.
One of the stupid questions is we always ask is, would you rather play them early? Would you rather play them later? You've got to play all the teams at some point anyway, so it doesn't really matter in what order you play these teams, does it?
Yeah, and like much prefer to play them earlier on in season. Then we have more stuff to work on. And I mean, one loss at the start of the season does not really define how our season will go. I mean, if we look at last season when we won it, we lost our final game before the league split against London by 10, and that broke our unbeaten streak. And just later on when we faced them again, we beat them by 10 points, and we lost it. Like I think with that second half of the season, we lost against Wigan and Leeds as well. So I mean, we would just make sure that we actually peaked at the right time for the grand final. So
Very, very. I mean, that's the way to do it. That's what Leeds did for years in the men's running game. And Wigan, of course, are a very good side, full of plenty of your World Cup colleagues.
yeah, definitely, it was good to see a lot of Declan and Adam, and especially Phil as well. Just seeing them after a long break of just rugby league in general, it was great to see all Wigan guys, but especially see how much Declan and Adam both improved throughout the off season, and good to see that they're up to their old tricks as always.
You had again French influence in your side. How was that getting back into the swing of things with a player who obviously you were up against in the World Cup final?
Perfectly fine. I mean, morale's still good when like we look more at the right. We're playing for Halifax now instead of we faced each other in the World Cup, and one person won, one person lost. We just more look at it like now we're playing for Halifax, and we knew straight away, like even though Seb and Jeremy can't train with us, we knew that they were training hard over in France, and that's the main point. Really, they were ready to play, and I think it was just rust as well for us mainly, and there was just a few mistakes, like I said, which will get resolved over the next few weeks.
You, as you say, you've got Warrington next up. They had a baptism of fire against Leeds. The thing that I guess people who haven't seen as much wheelchair rugby league as the running game is that you do sometimes get big scores. They're not always reflective of what happens on the pitch because it can be a high scoring game at times. It's difficult to stop a team on a roll.
Yeah, definitely. Once a team has that momentum, it's very tough to stop them. And I think that's just what Leeds had during that game was they just had the momentum and the flow throughout it. And Warrington were just struggling to break that momentum. But full credit to them, they actually did get quite a couple tries past Leeds as well, which is very good because Leeds is like goal line D is actually amazing. They are very consistent when it comes to their try line defense. So there's like it's very tough to fault them, and I think if you're scoring past them, it shows that you've done something well to break that, and especially if you've done it a couple of times.
And the other game saw London edging out Hull. looked like it was comfortable in the first half, and the second half, Hull got back into it again, which is great for their signs of their development.
Yeah, definitely. I think just with the way they actually have their training set up, they've been doing a lot of test sessions to try and find other people. Plus, they also had a game against the running team for a testimonial match. So they had a nice warm-up match before the season started to impact the promotion from the World Cup and have a lot of fans there. And I think to say that they've had that warm up and went down to Medway to face London, they gave them a close game. And I mean, I'm interested to see what the score will be for the next game because they've got that rematch in round two.
The testimonial reminded me of the wheelchair rugby league could be the perfect opportunity to have the most inclusive all-star game of any sport in the world, because you can all play together, men, women, wheelchair players, all in the same team, PDRL players, whatever, all in the same team at the end of the season. It could be a great opportunity for the sport to all come together in one place.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's based on both sides really. It's about who wants to try and do something like this, and also who can do something like this. And I think the way Hull have basically started this off, it shows like this could be a great step up, really. And just to see how the sport's grown in general since the World Cup has been amazing, because it just shows that we're I'm gonna quote Tom Coy when I say this, and I saw something that he retweeted on Twitter earlier, and it's just saying that we're here to take over, and that's what we want to do. We want to take over, and we want to improve our sport, bring it to a wider audience. And I think just the way it all is we're actually successfully doing that. We had a good amount of fans for the Wigan game. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a good amount of fans for the Warrington Leeds game, and the same for the London game.
I think people got that taste of what they saw on TV, or if they were lucky enough to get tickets during the World Cup. And this is the perfect opportunity to capitalise on it, as you say. And some big fixtures coming up, as you say. You've got Warrington next up. The Leeds have got, I think it's Wigan coming up, I think, in a couple of weeks as well. You've got Wigan again. It's all exciting because the league's so small. You all meet each other, but there's lots of great games to look forward to in the next few weeks for people to get down and see, or next few weeks and months for people to get down and see.
Yeah, definitely. I think just it's even better now as well, because I know Joe Coy pointed something out to us on our World Cup WhatsApp that we had, where BBC have actually shown all of our fixtures. Like they have all our fixtures on like week by week basis, and I think if you go to the 1st and 2nd of April, you'll see all of them there. So I know Halifax versus Warrington is the only game on the Sunday. So if you want to get down, it's going to be at Coaldale College. And then you've got the Leeds game, the London game, which I know the Leeds and Wigan game is going to be very close. Last season, they actually drew, and a lot of people were surprised at that. It was from what I saw, it was a very close-knit game. And then the London and Hull one, that's just a rematch to see who can actually, if Hull can get revenge for the loss this last week, or if London can continue a 2-0 streak.
So basically, a week into the season, the exciting times continue, the positivity continues, which is always, obviously, apart from the result, of course, but the positivity from the World Cup is still continuing in the wheelchair game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's still some positivity to our game with last week. Like, fair enough, we took the loss, but it gives us more stuff to work on, and it just shows that you don't want to be perfect at the start of the season and then start making mistakes towards the end. And that's what I'm perfectly fine with. I said it to the boys, and we've all come together and we've basically said, look, this is what we need to change, this is what we need to work on. And that's in my mind a great way to do it, and best like mindset to have.
And the other positive from the weekend is plenty of other teams playing in various competitions as well. Sheffield getting their first ever league win over the Bradford Bulls, and this and that and the other. There's more and more teams springing up everywhere. There's more and more opportunities for people to play and for people to watch as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're just trying. I think we're trying to broaden out our games by trying to live stream it. So each team will try and live stream their games, and then it'll either be on Facebook or you'll be able to find it on YouTube. Different platforms will try and like put it on so that it can reach a wider audience, like I said earlier. And I know the Wigan game was on the Wigan game got put on Wigan TV, which we weren't too sure if you could pay if you had to pay for it or if it were free. So we're trying to figure that out and see, because we don't want people paying to watch our sport for like a normal league match. We're at the start of how our sport's growing, and we want to make sure that it's accessible as possible by giving it to people to watch. If you can't come or you don't know where it's being played, you've got it right there on social media that you can watch, or you can easily just message one of the clubs or even just one of the players on Twitter. I know I'm constantly second my notifications pop up on a message, I'm instantly replying unless I'm busy. Like even yourself, because I think you messaged me this morning, I was like straight on it, even though I work at the house. So I mean, just there's many people to get out to if you want to come see a match live, and that's the best thing, is that we're eager to show this sport off even more from the World Cup.
Yeah, it's always good to have people reply to you and say they'll do something and not just ignore you. So you're on top of our list of people, Rob. This is the good news. I think we should do this again. So if you're happy to keep doing this, we should keep doing this during the season. If you're happy to do that,
I'm more than happy to do it. I think this is the best way to find improve it and give a nice rundown of all the matches that happened.
Well, I would say you're part of the team. There is no contract. There is no payment to this thing. So it's very much like everything. There's no money in rugby league. So welcome to the team, Rob. Thanks for joining us. And
thank you very much.
We'll catch up with you again after the next match.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.